Today we're diving into the gripping crime drama The Fall of the American Empire. Prepare for an intense story packed with shocking twists and turns. The movie kicks off at the Delitech restaurant, where Pierre is deep in conversation with his girlfriend. He laments the burden of intelligence, explaining that fools don't fret over consequences, and often believe in things they didn't intend to. She shares her dream of taking her son on a trip, though financial woes keep it out of reach. When she questions why Pierre hasn't expressed his love for her in their year-and-a-half-long relationship, he admits he cannot speak of feelings he doesn't fully comprehend. This leads to a breakup, with her leaving and pitying Pierre for his seemingly inevitable loneliness. Meanwhile, two men in a fancy car target a vehicle with an electronic lock. One snaps a photo of the serial number and creates a fake key right on the spot. They unlock the car and drive off. Nearby, Pierre chats with a newspaper vendor while the same two men rob a store, stuffing a bag with cash. A bald man arrives in a car, senses trouble, and retrieves an assault rifle before entering through the back door. Pierre, working as a courier, arrives to deliver a package. Through the blinds, the bald man spots the robbers and storms inside. Chaos ensues. One robber tosses his weapon, while the other shoots the bald man in the chest. Despite the injury, the bald man returns fire, killing one. The other flees but drops the money bag after getting wounded. The bald man pursues, but is fatally shot by the escaping thief. Before dying, he manages to shoot the second robber, who also collapses. Witnessing the aftermath, Pierre seizes the moment, grabs the cash-filled bags and stashes them in his car. Pierre is soon stopped by the police, while the surviving robber escapes. During questioning, an officer checks Pierre's van but is distracted by another vehicle pulling up. The store owner appears, distraught over losing his head of security. The police assure him they'll investigate. Back home, Pierre hides some of the cash and rents a mini warehouse for the rest. Later, Pierre drinks with a homeless friend and shares his dream of owning a small house. On TV, they learn about a criminal nicknamed Brain, recently released from prison for gang activity. Pierre sees this as an opportunity and approaches Brain, claiming to need a financial advisor. Though Brain initially mocks him, Pierre persists, giving him his number and explaining he has more money than he can handle. Meanwhile, police visit the mother of the wounded robber, who denies seeing her son. After they leave, she discreetly hands her son their business card. Pierre, restless, browses adult sites and sends literary quotes to one of the women he finds there. He later meets Brain again, but struggles to articulate his plans. Frustrated, Brain demands clarity and walks away. The next day, a stunning woman visits Pierre's office, accompanied by her bodyguard. Introducing herself as Spacey, she explains her name's origin and shares a connection to Socrates. After she leaves, Pierre places money in a kitchen box but grows anxious. Spacey tries to reassure him, eventually tying his hands with a tie and initiating intimacy. Their moment is interrupted by her bodyguard's warning. The police have arrived. Spacey flees, but the police recognize her from a previous case, questioning Pierre. They warn him about the dangerous path he's on. Elsewhere, the gangsters retrieve the injured man and drive off. The police, meanwhile, investigate Pierre's courier job, discovering he spent 3 hours at the store before heading home. Later, the injured robber's mother calls the police to report her son missing. As the tension builds, Pierre makes his way to Brain's house. Now, Pierre suspects that the money belongs to the gang and cannot be spent. They head to the warehouse, where Brain also learns from Pierre that he's already spent some of the money on a girl he introduced to the cops as his girlfriend. Disappointed with Pierre, Brain twists his arm, but Pierre doesn't reveal where the money is. As Pierre texts Asasi to meet the next day, a security guard at a landfill finds a guy in a car being barked at by a dog. In the hospital, doctors say the guy needs long rehabilitation but will survive. Asasi visits Pierre, unaware that the police are watching her. After dinner, Pierre invites her for a walk in the park, where she dismisses her bodyguard. Pierre tells her that she's been on his mind since she came to him, while agents listen to their conversations. Pierre and Asasi meet on the roof of a high-rise building, and Pierre tries to learn her real name, but she refuses to reveal it. They head to the warehouses, only to find the bags of money gone. Asasi receives a phone call and is about to leave when the police call her Camille Lafontaine. On the street, the police show Pierre how they tortured the guy found at the dump. Pierre and Camille go to see Brain, who attacks Pierre, throws him on the bed, and shows him his money. Yet Brain explains that he learned from his friends and the police that they were being followed, so he decided to take the money. He asks Pierre to come up with an alibi for the bags. They all get to know each other, including Brain's daughter Cindy. Brain advises caution as the police surveillance might not be constant, but could resume any time. The policeman learns from the guy in the hospital that the store owner hired them to rob his store due to insufficient mafia payments. Camille, Pierre, and Brain hide the boy's treasure next to Brain's, while Brain forbids Pierre from helping the boy in the hospital to avoid drawing attention. The shopkeeper must repay the debt but struggles to find the money. The police arrive, have a brief dialogue with him, and then release him after he declines their help. Pierre visits Camille's house thinking he's the first man there, but she reveals she had a husband and got the apartment after the divorce. Pierre throws money on the table to pay her, but she refuses to let him leave it there. Brain visits the guy in the hospital, telling him a Chinese man will come to take him, urging him to go for his safety since the government is deceitful. Pierre visits his ex-girlfriend, giving her an envelope of money for his son's trip. In a coffee shop, Pierre and Camille discuss their need for a financier. Camille has connections with influential people, so they plan to meet Pierre's financier and convince him to work with them. Cameron Pipe Episode 8. Camille arrives at the office where Pierre meets her, and they are immediately followed by agents. Despite the pursuit, they manage to secure an illegal investment with the financier. An agent enters the office, confronts the financier about ruining his father's career, and reveals that instead of becoming a mathematician, he joined the police. Meanwhile, the agent's colleague offers him a place to stay. After a night with Camille, the agents wait for Pierre, questioning him about the man who accompanied him to the warehouse. Pierre fabricates an alibi, claiming the bags contained clothes and the man was Bill, a homeless person. Beside him stands Villefleur, a necklace maker, and her son play at humbug according to a game called Fortier. At the museum, the financier discusses with Brain ways to move money abroad without taxation. A police informant reveals to an agent in a confession room that Brain was found through his daughter, and the police are monitoring him. The police warn the store owner that he's being hunted, offering protection, but he shows them an amulet, trusting in its protection. Finally, they meet in a park and discuss transferring the money through various channels to Switzerland, where they can spend it as they wish. The financier takes out a flash drive containing crucial information and hands it to Camille, noting that the guy is fortunate to have her. Meanwhile, the police are discreetly photographing them. Pierre requests Brain to spend some money on his friend, but Brain refuses. Camille offers to lend Pierre her own money, showing him her safe deposit box at the bank, where she has multiple boxes all over the city containing her savings. She trusts only cash as it cannot be controlled by the state, and she invites Pierre to take as much money as he needs. Brain strikes a deal with Pierre's ex, who agrees to find an office for the charity. The guy is already undergoing rehabilitation in a gym, while the store owner faces liquidation in his store. The police realize that the money will be moved abroad, but are yet to understand how. The financier, meanwhile, is making arrangements with his friends when the cops approach him with photos, causing him to evade their questions. Brain and Camille dig up the money as Pierre is being tailed by the cops. Leading them to the office, he walks around the building while Brain and Camille bring the money inside. The cops agree to search everyone except the financier. However, the police face a delay as most officers are engaged in student rallies, leaving them with a 2-hour wait. Pierre hands the money bag to a woman tasked with counting it. The police, now with additional personnel, proceed with a search. As the last client departs, Brain deletes everything from the laptop and disposes of it in a container. The police are outside by now. Pierre's ex takes the container to a store for sale. The police find nothing, but realize they've been deceived. At a golf club, a girl approaches the financier, claiming to be Asasi's friend and expressing her concern, asking him to meet her at a hotel that evening. The financier arrives at the hotel room, where the girl awaits. As soon as he hands her the envelope, police agents appear and arrest him. The next day, Pierre observes agents at the aid center again. Approaching them, he suggests they assist if they're just sitting around. An agent helps Pierre in the kitchen, where Pierre criticizes the flawed system that protects bosses and imprisons workers. Said one of the agents. Then, getting more details in the case regarding bosses and imprisons workers, the girl tells Camille it's unusual to see her here, to which Camille responds that she can't explain. They bring in the homeless man from earlier who had dreamed of a home. Camille shocks him by giving him her apartment. On the street, he hugs Camille and gives her a bracelet, asking Pierre to help with a tour on Sunday, with Camille joining as well. In the end, the film shows footage of homeless people asking for help, just as Pierre did throughout the movie. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and click on the bell to stay updated with our new releases.